One of the main decisions you have to make while going to college is what college you're actually going to go to. That's why I thought I'd explain as a student going into my third year at Oregon State why I went and why I stayed. Hey, my name's Trevor. I'm going to be a third year marketing major at Oregon State University, and obviously I have loved my time, so I thought I'd explain to you guys why it made a good fit for me, and it may help you make the decision easier. One of the main things that made it even possible for me to go to Oregon State, because I live out of state, is WUI, which is the Western Undergraduate Exchange Scholarship, and it makes it so that students who live in states on the west side of the country can go to Oregon State for a decreased tuition. One of the things that was so cool for me as an incoming business student is that Oregon State's first year program for business students is awesome. They teach you how to create and run your own actual business. And this isn't just teaching you in the classroom, they actually give you a startup budget to start your company. And what you do is throughout the term, you are trying to sell your product or service to actual students, parents, stuff like that. And then at the end of the term, they have a whole awards ceremony for which teams did the best, and all the profits go to scholarships for students. Oregon State is a D1 school, which means the sports scene is super awesome. There's a ton of fan energy. And even me, someone who doesn't know a lot about sports, I just love the energy and going to game day every week. So on top of that, there's a ton of career benefits that come out of going to a D1 school. If you're into photography or videography or sports business, anything like that, there's a ton of jobs and internships that come out of the sports scene, even if you're not an athlete. One of my favorite things that I actually was skeptical at the beginning was how small Corvallis is. Originally, I was a little worried coming from Southern California that it's going to be just a complete change of pace for me. But honestly, after visiting some of my friends' schools in larger cities, I couldn't be happier being in a small town. I visited friends who go to schools in way bigger cities who are actually expected or even required to live in dorms 3 or even 4 years, which at Oregon State, it's only required to go your first year living in the dorms. And after that, it's really easy to find student housing and apartments for affordable prices. What also comes from that is the town is very drivable. If you do have a car, you can drive from your apartment to school to the restaurants nearby, but the school also does have a lot of options if you don't have a car. They have bus stops that stop at the main apartment buildings, so even if you don't have a car, it is really accessible to get to campus for free. One thing I've seen and experienced firsthand is how strong the community is, not only of students, but also of parents and families nearby. My parents have seen in family group chats that there are people offering to drive during holiday breaks and spring break to airports to help students out. I've personally been invited to families' Thanksgivings that I've never even met before, and the hospitality of just everyone in the community has been so overwhelmingly positive. One of the biggest things about college is students being worried about not being able to contact their professors or not get a ton of help, but I can say as an Oregon State student that I have never once had a single professor that does not care about me. Anytime I've had issues or wanted to ask a professor for extra help, they have always been super accessible, whether that's just to get me into an SI table or connect me with a TA for a little extra help. All my professors have been so helpful and so eager to help me out and see me succeed. Obviously, college is a brand new experience and you're always gonna have a little bit of did I make the right decision, but I can confidently say as a student going into my third year, I wouldn't have had it any other way, and I'm so excited to finish the second half of school. And I know that if you lean into it, Oregon State will give you such an amazing experience that you will never forget as well.